like a doctor. Give me the pill to take away the poison. Erase the writing on the wall.
Hey guys! Welcome to the season finale of The Search, our enthralling TV segment where we hunt for the next great American classic and analyze different books in American curriculum.
Previously on The Search.
The Great Gatsby.
Grapes of Wrath.
The Woman Warrior. And Frederick Douglass. What about Outliers? Okay. Wait, you sit here. So, getting back to this episode. Our essential question precisely is, what qualities are present in traditionally revered books that deem them American classics?
And isn't it time we found the next one?
Yes!
From that time until now, I have been engaged in pleading with the cause of my brethren. With what success and with what devotion, I leave those acquainted with my labors to decide.
We've already established in class that Freddie D is a classic, with its unprecedented first-hand account of slavery in newborn America.
Its autobiographical nature draws in modern American audiences to a figure so revered in history. Students in the classroom, then, are able to empathize with his ideas, like the famous "education is a pathway to freedom."
Combined with the lasting effect on Northern audiences when published, and because the open-ended last line leaves us with a call to arms to continue the fight for social justice, Frederick Douglass is deemed a classic, and its themes ripple through.
Oh, no, Ethan, you put the wrong one on. But I reckon I got to light out for the territory ahead of the rest, because Aunt Sally, she's going to adopt me and civilize me, and I can't stand it. I've been there before. Huck Finn is a jump from Frederick Douglass in that it gives audiences a dual perspective on race relations in the developing American South.
This time, it's told from a white boy's point of view, and not only is the new aspect of youth in literature presented, but the regionalist writing style by Mark Twain takes novels on these American issues to another level.
Thus, nuanced rhetorical modes by authors in the formative literary years of America are qualities present in books that label them American classics.
Even Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "All American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn." It's true, and we found that books that challenge morals and ethics are classics.
The use of racial slurs and colloquial diction prove an obstacle for schools today as they select curriculums. The controversiality of Huck Finn indicates that issues involving race are in fact still alive today and need books to facilitate their discussion.
So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
The Great Gatsby represents a time of economic boom in America when consumerism and materialistic desires convoluted the American dream and established old and new worlds.
Everyone knows the Roaring Twenties, so a fictional novel depicting the moral decay of the time makes it a classic, since people today are not only entertained by its lyricism, but informed on a period when America went off the rails, so to speak.
Class tensions replaced focus on race issues in a way. As values shifted, so too did the subjects of literature produced at the time. In congruence, the idea of true American progress became a thing of the past in the minds of lost generation writers. As a literary critic writes, "For Americans, the idea of progress represented the magnetic western star of their dreams, never the main-traveled roads warily trodden by their feet."
American identity became defined by nostalgic feelings. Also, the youth in The Great Gatsby contrasts with Huck Finn, as Huck is depicted as stubborn and therefore weak in the minds of adults, and in The Great Gatsby, Daisy neglects her daughter, but youth itself is considered lavish and ideal.
Oh my god.
What?
My dog's barking.
No!
Hey guys, I'm a huge fan. I just have one question for both of you guys. What's the results of that survey I just took?
After putting up a survey online for our fellow classmates to take, we came across some striking results. We asked two questions. What was your favorite book we read this year, and which do you believe best embodies an American classic, and why?
The 29 responses indicated that most people thought Huckleberry Finn was a true American classic.
They touched upon ideas of endless journeys, youth and innocence, race issues, and freedom as a pillar of American values. We agree, and ask you to consider the fact that American ideals presented in literature in a way that entertains could be why books are labeled classics.
People also mention the setting in the Old South as a defining factor of Huck Finn. As we discussed earlier, the dialectal characterization of Huck, Jim, and others contributes to this raw literary atmosphere.
Close behind Huck Finn in the polls was...
She looked up and across the barn, and her lips came together and smiled mysteriously. Survey results indicated that people saw the white farming Joad family as a classic American unit, and their migration as symbolic of expansion and the American dream.
Their journey is a reversal of the downward spiral presented at the end of The Great Gatsby. Also, the Great Depression as a time period represents a low point in the development of the American identity. Widespread struggle, however, can sometimes be the key to great writing.
After all, everyone knows the Great Depression.
The new tone of rebirth and mystery the reader is left with as Rose of Sharon smiles amidst a great flood as she nurses an old man redefines the American dream as giving to society and reaping the benefits of nurturing in return.
In our next book, we experience another story of migration, ironically, also set in California. She brought her songs back from the savage lands, and one of the three that has been passed down to us is 18 Stanzas for a Barbarian Reed Pipe, a song that Chinese sing to their own instruments.
It translated well.
But I was like, no, sorry, I was like stressed before, I don't know why, but I'm like fine now.
Okay. Go. I'm wearing the same shirt as I was in the first one.
Descriptions.
People often hear America described as a cultural melting pot. While true, as there are many different cultures that make up its lineage, everyone's experience with it is unique. No one person's story is representative of an entire community.
For Maxine Hong Kingston's 1976 talk story, LOL, The Woman Warrior, her personal narrative reflects her experiences as a Chinese woman adjusting to American life and how her home culture is sometimes suppressed to conform to the American ideal.
However, literary pioneers like Kingston subconsciously worked to broaden the American identity to include cultural practices and ideals from her own by bravely defying the stigmatized American culture that surrounded her and instead writing on her own accord. Kingston novel is an instant classic.
The Woman Warrior, along with the aforementioned books, are all classics because they work towards shaping the American identity.
They were honest, eye-opening descriptions of the times in which they were written, and each opened the literary world for the next to take shape. With their candidness, they have provided a snapshot of the evolution of the American identity.
The other book we read this year to have done that is Outliers. In the view of our community, Outliers perfectly reflects the motivated mindsets of our town and the desire for perfection that is ever present in our modern world.
It serves as a sign of the times, and therefore we see it as the next American classic. Eat your heart out, Malcolm Gladwell.
Bye guys!